Greetings, my dear friends. On the 7th of October 2023, Israel's worst nightmare came true. An unprovoked terrorist attack by Hamas across the border. An ultimate humiliation for Israel. Hamas terrorists struck at 22 different locations of the Gaza Strip, some as deep as 15 miles inside. The Israeli retaliation and the tit for tat strikes over the last 10 months have left over 45,000 people dead, many more injured, reduced Gaza to almost a rubble. On the 31st of July, Ismail Hania was killed in a targeted killing inside Tehran, where he was attending the inauguration of the new Iranian president, a place where he never in his dreams would have dreamt that he was under threat. Israel carried out another strike to take out Fouad Shukr, one of the top leaders of Hezbollah, the number 2, and the mastermind of the attack on school children in Golan Heights, from his hideout in a highly built-up area of Beirut. Earlier, a 13th July strike took out Mohammed Daif, the alleged mastermind of the 7th October attacks. Don't forget the attack by the Houthis and the retaliatory strike by Israel on the Hodeidah port over 2,300 kilometers away. Therefore, this was a dramatic and an unexpected escalation that not only showcased Israel's reach but also its resolve. It scrambled both sides to show their respective solidarity, US and the West with Israel, Iran, Houthis, and some of the Arab states for Hamas and Hezbollah. Iran is in a very tight spot. Hania was killed in Iran, where he was a guest, and the Ayatollah has vowed revenge. On the other hand, is Israel ready to take on the 3H, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, and Iran all at once? Does it have the necessary weapons and the ammunition, the men? Welcome, my dear friends, to Chak Simplifies, your channel to demystify and simplify complex geopolitical issues. In this quick episode, we will do a very quick short video to explain just 3 important questions. What is at stake for Iran, Israel, and the world at stake at large? Will they escalate, and how will it affect the world and India? Let's come to Iran first. Iran is undoubtedly the puppeteer of the 3H, Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthis, besides numerous other terrorist organizations that are anti-West and anti-Israel. In a way, it is riding many tigers all at once, and it cannot be seen as weak. It could not link the death of President Raisi to Israel, and therefore made all the right noises but took no action. Earlier, it did fire drones against Israel, made it known so that Israel could shoot down most of them, and even after Israelis struck in retaliation on the 19th of April, it did not retaliate. Iran has numerous internal issues. It faces numerous sanctions. Its leadership in OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries, is also in question. It needs to save face. It needs to avenge the killing of Hania inside of Iran. Ayatollah Khomeini has now declared it would deal out a punishment worthy of Iran. On the other hand, Israel faces an existential crisis. It lives in a violent neighborhood, and it feels peace is not possible with Hamas in control of Gaza and Hezbollah cut to size. Iran, though physically distant, has the potential to upset the security and existence of Israel, especially with the nuclear card. The two-nation theory, even if Israel accepts the state of Palestine, it cannot accept Hamas in charge. Netanyahu faces political turmoil. He hasn't really been able to bring back the hostages, neutralize the Hamas, and the Israeli public is seemingly very unhappy with him and have been protesting against him, wanting him to step down. Israel does feel it can handle the 3H and possibly manage Iran, although it has limitations of weapons and ammunition. It gambles on the fact that if Iran comes out in direct opposition to Israel, US and NATO will have to come out in support, and that will give it a very good option of removing the nuclear card with Israel. The world has been divided into two major blocks, with or against Israel. The combatants are lined up: Iran, Russia, China, and its proxies on one side, Israel, US, NATO, and the West on the other. The Houthis are continuing their attacks in the Red Sea. It has resulted in an over 40% increase in insurance and shipping costs, resulting in higher prices and therefore greater cost of living. Piracy has raised its head once again, adding further to the insecurity to international trade, forcing it to take the longer, more time consuming route via the Cape of Good Hope. Conditions, therefore, my friends, are ripe for an escalation. And would this be the precursor for the World War III? China is the shadow player here. It was the peacemaker between Iran and Saudi. It became peacemaker between Hamas and the Palestinian Authority after having supported Hamas to carry out the attacks on the 7th of October. Now, the question is, will they escalate? Iran is in a quandary. It has to avenge the loss of face with demonstrable action. Will this mean another drone attack or a more precise, sophisticated cruise missile attack from closer to Israel? Or will it mean a direct strike by a ballistic missile launched from Iran? Iran has called out the OIC meet to drum up support. Possibly, Iran will get out a statement in support, but support for a war is unlikely. However, these very nations cannot keep quiet if the death toll in Palestine and Lebanon goes up, as their own populations will get progressively restive. Hezbollah has already started firing rockets. There are reports of Iranian weapons being found in Jordan. Israel needs NATO and the US to thwart any Iranian attack. It does not have the strategic depth and therefore needs to carry out preemptive attacks for survival. It's probably ready for an escalation from the 3H and the rocket attacks, but logically, will an escalation happen? No, not logically. But when was Iran a logical nation? So what does one expect here? There are two games, my friends, that are being played at the same time. One, the visible, Iran versus Israel, along with the respective proxies, the 3H. And the second, the US versus China and Russia, sort of a great game all over again. So let's do some crystal ball gazing here. I do expect a demonstrable attack to happen sooner than later. Possibly more sophisticated than the previous one, which will result in some damage in Israel. There will be a tit for tat response, but I believe will be significantly later, and that may well give the perfect excuse to take out the Iranian nuclear option. US will move 3 carrier groups into the region, one each in the Persian Gulf, Red Sea, and the Mediterranean Sea to protect Israel against an Iranian strike and deter any further escalation. Keep Russia and China out. In the long run, the US may well be forced to return to the Persian Gulf as a security provider. Instability in all this area and globally will continue for some more time. International shipping will continue to be affected, with Houthis getting more belligerent, and that would drive up further the transportation costs. It will also drive up significantly, possibly significantly, the oil prices, pushing the world into a slowdown and maybe even a recession. India will also be impacted significantly. The inflation here may well give more ammunition to the opposition to up the ante against the government and cause unrest within the country. The world will remain on tenterhooks, my friends, for the next few days, thinking will they or won't they with respect to Iran. They would closely watch the reactions of the Islamic world, especially of Saudi Arabia. Already, diplomatic action is happening and peaking. The global south is waiting to see the impact on oil and food crisis. So, my dear friends, we continue living in very interesting times. If you approve of the video, please leave a like and do comment. This motivates me immensely. As always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed so far and press the bell icon to be notified. Please share this video with your family and friends, and like always, I look forward to your continued support and suggestions. Until next time, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.